5 was a big year for Ford as they rolled out a brand new platform for the full-size Galaxie models. And true to mid-1960s form, the new cars featured sharper angles and a tighter overall design in favor of the spacey, rounded forms of the previous several years. The new car was advertised as being as quiet as a Rolls-Royce going down the road. They also debuted a brand new engine, the mighty 240 cubic inch, 150 horsepower Big 6, touted as the biggest and smoothest inline 6-cylinder you could get at the time. It featured 7 main bearings and hydraulic lifters for smoothness. But we really don't care about any of that. We're looking at a 1965 Galaxie 500 with the super bad R code 427. As fancy and quiet as Ford wanted their cars to be, they also knew full well the power of racing. So along with the sleepy new 6 and cushy sedans came some of the hottest muscle cars ever built. The new chassis was a big help in the traction department, as it now featured unequal length triangulated rear control arms and coil springs in favor of the wheel hop inducing leaf springs. The new frame was also a ladder type perimeter design for better stiffness. The front suspension was redesigned for better handling, and a basic design that is still used in NASCAR today. The wheels grew to 15 inches and brakes were also improved. All this adds up to a platform that lended itself nicely to speedway racing as well as the red-hot sport of superstock drag racing, and Ford had a power plant to contend with for both. The Ford Facts and Figures on High Performance Engines pamphlet, written by Ack Miller, states that the C3AE 6007-HE-361-T part number refers to a 427 cubic inch high performance engine assembly with 2 4-barrel carburetors. It's what we have here, and it's definitely something to get wound up about. Scanning the VIN reveals the letter R in the 5th position, indicating the optional 425 horsepower Thunderbird High Performance 427 was the engine of choice for this car. The R-Code engine was basically the complete opposite of every selling point on the regular Galaxie. It was loud, it shook, it was anything but fuel efficient, and with no power accessories, it was as far from a Rolls-Royce as you could get. Starting with the specially prepped 427 block, the 11-to-1 compression R-Code engine was fed by 2 Holley 4160 600 CFM 4-barrel carburetors perched on top of an aluminum mid-rise intake manifold. The lumpy cam worked a set of oversized 2 185 and 2 195-inch valves with solid lifters, and the exhaust was dumped through cast iron header-style manifolds. The result was a stout 425 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 480 pound-feet of torque at 3,700. A tight clutch spun the top-loader 4-speed manual transmission, and the 9-inch rear end was loaded with 411 gears and 31 splined axles to put the power to the wheels. The non-glamorous body-color 15-inch steel wheels are bolted to upgraded police and taxi brakes for less fade when you need to haul this nearly 4,000-pound beast back to the ground. However, the subtle vintage burgundy paint looks pretty sweet, offset by the redline tires. Inside, you'll find a big, comfortable bench seat and a willing 4-speed shift handle, a minimally stocked dash, and very little else to distract you from burning the tires to the ground. These cars were capable of low 14-second quarter-mile times in stock trim, but all the usual hot rodding tricks apply, with less restrictive exhaust, stickier tires, a hotter ignition curve, and a good track. The 12s really weren't that far away. People like to talk about sleepers, which are cars that are really a lot faster than they appear. And this 65 R-Code Galaxie is a great example, until you open the hood or turn the key. On the outside, the big, boxy fastback is devoid of fancy trim and details, save for the very cool Pyrex headlight covers. These were indicators of the R-Code engine under the hood and were not found on the lesser Galaxies of the day. Today, they're one of the trickiest things to find when restoring these cars. The new for 65 Galaxie was a big hit, as Ford sold over 540,000 of them that year. However, only 327 people popped for the Thunderbird high performance version, making this a very rare ride indeed. I really dig big cars like this, especially when they're equipped with race-ready drive lines and not much else. What do you think? Are big cars the deal, or do you like them a little smaller and lighter?